from the Olympic Ice Center. 3:30 remaining in the first period, and the United States leading Romania 2-0. Romania coming in with a record of 1 win and 2 defeats. They defeated West Germany in an upset in their first round game, then were defeated by Sweden and Czechoslovakia successively. The United States looking very sharp in the first period, dominating the action, though it's been rather loosely played, and it's 2-0. Romania in yellow and the United States in blue. As we take a look at the first goal scored by the USA at 12:03 of the first period, a picture-perfect goal scored by number 25, Buzz Schneider.
Once again, it's the Pavlich-Schneider line that scores the goal to put the U.S. ahead. Here comes the second U.S. goal. The shot from the point. There's a lot of action around Netito. A few shots. Now finally he has to go down, and Strobel finds the top corner to put the U.S. ahead 2-0.
So 2-0, the United States on top. The Americans trying to stay unbeaten. Their record with a win here would be 3-0-1. Sweden earlier today defeating Norway, so the Swedes are already 3-0-1, but they have a game coming up on Wednesday against Czechoslovakia. The top 2 teams in each division advancing to the medal round over the weekend. Steve Kristoff in over the blue line for the United States and taken away as the Romanians come back with Constantin Nistor, number 12. Jim Craig in the nets for the United States tonight. There was some speculation that Steve Janaszak would get the start, but it's Craig again. He's played every minute of all of the games so far as McClanahan skates into the Romanian zone, but the Americans are offside. 2:24 remaining in the first period. The United States, a team that has captured everybody's fancy. That man guiding them, Herb Brooks from the University of Minnesota, molding this unit, bringing along 9 former and present Gophers, the team that won the NCAA championship last season.
It's doubtful that Jim Craig will feel any of the problems of fatigue. The fact that he's played 3 straight games and will be playing tonight. I think Coach Herb Brooks feels that Craig's personal momentum at this stage is that much more important than a rest, and I think he's probably right.
Craig, thus far in the 3 games, has given up only 6 goals, and coming in, he had made 72 saves. As Johnson skates into the Romanian zone, the Romanians able to clear. Kazaku, number 18, pounded by Kenny Morrow. Kazaku crossing over the pass to Holenka, and his shot was blocked out in front. The Americans come back with Kristoff carrying the puck, number 11. In over the blue line. He has Johnson with him. Kristoff skating to the far side and then losing it at the point, and back come the Romanians. The team captain, Turianu, number 6, taken away by Verkota as he had trouble handling the puck. 1.5 minutes remaining as Craig makes the glove save and leaves it for Wells. In the other arena right next door, Czechoslovakia out in front of West Germany 7-1. Not necessarily a surprise that the Czechs are winning, but by that margin, that would be a surprise. West Germany, a pretty good team. They'll play the U.S. as Wells to Verkota, and his shot goes wide. Christian tries to keep it in at the point, and Kazaku gets it out to center ice. Now the Americans starting out again. Baker with 1 minute to play now in the first period. Verkota to Davy Silk, number 8. Silk trying to center it for Verkota. His shot, stick save. Wells trying to get the rebound, couldn't backhand it in, and the Romanians try to clear, but the Americans keep it in. Out in front it comes. Christian, and he breaks his stick on the slap shot from the point as Silk battles for it back of the net. 35 seconds remaining in the first period. Earlier in this same building, just a couple of hours ago, thrilling game as the Soviet Union came from behind in the last 5 minutes and 1 second to defeat Finland, 4-2. The Soviets scoring 3 goals in the last 5:01. Silk slap shot is saved by the Romanian goaltender Netadu, and the Americans now starting in again. Their final charge was 8 seconds remaining in the period. Broughton to Eruzione. Eruzione tries to center. Backhander and a save off the shot by Baker. The Romanians clear as the horn sounds, and the first period is over. So the first period is over. The United States leading Romania 2-0. Coming up next, a look at the men's giant slalom today.
We said it was a busy evening. There's more ski racing yet to come for you to see, and live action of the hockey game. Now, the United States has now moved ahead of Romania by a score of 3-0 in the second period. Very quickly, we can give you a look at the goal. The third goal for the United States. It'll be a pass from Phil Verkota to Mark Wells, who scores the goal. The United States in the blue, moving in on the Romanian goal. And there you had it. Mark Wells with a easily done, beautifully managed goal. Okay, the United States leading 3-0 in that game. We'll be seeing live action there a little bit later, and in a minute we'll be returning to the men's giant slalom. The score in the hockey game now has been narrowed to 3-1. Romania has scored. Let's have a look at that goal as it occurred. The Romanians in yellow, the Americans in blue, remember. Moving in on the American goal. That one went past on the right, but then on the rebound, past Jim Craig and into the goal, Doru Turianu scoring for Romania. So the Romanians fighting back in the second period. 3-1 the score still, the United States, and after this break, we're going to go out there for live action in that hockey game.
Live from the Olympic Ice Center, the United States has just scored again with 2:55 remaining in the second period, and it's now 4-1. That man, number 25, Buzz Schneider, his second goal of the night. Here it is.
It's a very quick play off the face-off, right back to Schneider, and he finds the lower corner.
4-1, the United States trying to stay unbeaten in the blue division. Remember, Sweden has already won its game today. Sweden defeated Norway 7-1. They are also 3-0-1, or unbeaten, I say also, assuming the United States wins tonight. The U.S. will be 3-0-1, but the Swedes still have to play Czechoslovakia on Wednesday. The United States in blue and Romania in yellow.
Much as the first period, the U.S. has dominated play here, keeping the puck in the Romanian end most of the time, but the Romanians have capitalized on a few U.S. errors on defense, and Jim Craig has had to make a few good saves. One of the other changes since the first period is goaltender Valerian Netado has been replaced by Georgi Putan. I don't think it was a question of injury. It certainly wasn't a question of performance, as Netado had played very well. I suspect that Coach Ionescu was anticipating fatigue on the part of Netado. He'd had a lot of shots, and he's taken a lot of shots so far in these Olympics.
2 minutes and 12 seconds remaining in the second period. The United States leading Romania 4-1. The Olympic Ice Center is packed tonight as you look at the official, Victor Dombrovsky. We're working with a Soviet referee tonight and 2 Canadian linesmen. Next door in the old arena, Czechoslovakia is destroying West Germany. 10-1 is the score there. That was expected as a Czech victory, and they will get it, but not by that margin. The West Germans are a team that U.S. head coach Herb Brooks fears, and the Americans will face the West Germans here on Wednesday in their final game in the preliminary round. You meet each of your opponents in your own division one time before going on to the medal round. The top 2 teams advancing for the medal round Friday and Sunday. Rob McClanahan in his own end. Ramsey back of the net. Mike, the #1 draft choice from the Buffalo Sabres and the youngest player on the team. He's number 5, just 19 years old. Up ahead to Mark Johnson. Johnson, the college player of the year at Wisconsin. And the Romanians trying to freeze the puck against the boards, and finally we have the whistle with 1:38 remaining in the second period.
That's one of the differences there from professional hockey. You noticed the Romanian player, Turianu, freezing the puck along the boards, but not being held there by a U.S. player. If that was in the National Hockey League, the referee would have called a penalty for delay of game. In international hockey, they're allowed to do that.
The Romanians controlling at center ice. Nagy, number 17, losing it now. Bill Baker, the big hero against Sweden in the opening game on Tuesday. Up ahead, this is Davy Silk from Boston University. Silk to Verkota. Back of the net, Verkota skating into the corner with it. Again, Davy Silk. Silk looking for a centering pass. As we're coming to you live from the Olympic Ice Center, Silk out in front, the shot and the save. Davy Christian got the shot away and then loses the puck. Back of the Romanian net as they clear it along the board. 1 minute to play in the second period. The United States leading 4-1. Mark Wells keeping it into the blue line. Over to Davy Silk. Silk shooting it around the boards. The U.S. led 2-0 after the first period. Then 3-0 here in the second. The Romanians made it 3-1 and now 4-1. Wells in the shot by Verkota. Stick save. And the Romanians clear. As they try to work it to the center zone, the puck still inside the blue line. And now we've got a whistle for offside. 31 seconds remaining in the second period.
saw some of the influence there of the European style on the American style as Dave Christian came in from the point to a position of about 10 feet out in front of the net to take the wide pass. Now, a few years ago, you wouldn't have seen that in North America, but the influence of the Europeans has been profound in that aspect.
The Romanians clearing it into the American end, and we'll have an icing call here as Ken Morrow goes back to make the touch with 22 seconds remaining in the second period. Spirited crowd tonight, as was the case the other night against Czechoslovakia as the team came out onto the ice tonight. USA, USA. One thing this team has done to the country, I'll tell you, is people who didn't know whether they played hockey in quarters or halves or just what are going to learn a whole lot and now know a whole lot more about the sport they used to call shinny. They have captured everybody's fancy. It's the hottest ticket at the Olympics right now. 4-1, the United States on top. Eric Strobel, number 19. Ramsey into the corner. Broughton tried to center it. It was knocked away. We have 12 seconds left in the period now. Broughton getting it back to the net. Gets the return pass. And then we've got a whistle. Dombrowski whistling the play dead with a penalty coming up and 5 seconds remaining in the second period.
It's going to be an interference penalty.
Against Romania. Going off is Ian Verdila, number 4. In the old arena, West Germany has scored, but it's Czechoslovakia 10, West Germany 2, as Verdila goes off for 5 seconds here in the period, which means the Americans will have the power play for the first 1:55 of the third.
Here's how it happened. In front of the net, there was a crowd of players, and is what happens very frequently. The defenseman and the forward get mixed up, but the puck isn't around, and thus the interference penalty.
Eruzione back of the net, just 1 second now. And the end of the second period. The United States heavily favored in this one. Romania, one of the weaker teams in the division, and the U.S. dominating the first period. Didn't quite look as good in the second period as in the first, but still well enough to pick up a couple of goals to lead it 4-1. Coming up, figure skating, speed skating, and of course more hockey. The third period. We'll be back right after these words from your local stations.
All right, hockey fans, we're going to go back to the U.S. against Romania very shortly here. As a matter of fact, you don't even have to be a hockey fan to follow this American team. They are just one of the fabulous stories of the 13th Winter Olympic Games. You know, as the action proceeds in hockey, however, it's very difficult to personalize the players because it just goes and goes and goes, as you know, at a furious pace. We'd like to meet some of these young men, find out something about them, however. So Al Michaels has put a piece together, then we'll go to them live.
The scene last Tuesday night in the Olympic Ice Center, the big hero. Number 6, Bill Baker out of Grand Rapids, Minnesota. He scored the tying goal with just 27 seconds remaining in the game. The United States was trailing 2-1, and Baker put it in from 40 feet. Bill Baker, captain of Minnesota's 1979 NCAA championship team. He played there under current U.S. head coach Herb Brooks, and he was the man at the bottom of this jubilant pile. His goal tying Sweden. Mike Eruzione, number 21, the team captain, age 25, second oldest player on the team. Scored this goal against Norway on Saturday. Spent the last 2 years playing for Toledo in the International Hockey League. Comes from Winthrop, Massachusetts. Played college hockey at Boston University. Then there's number 10, Mark Johnson from the University of Wisconsin. His father, Bob, the current Wisconsin head coach, and he was the head coach of the 1976 Olympic team. He scores here against Norway after he had been injured 2 nights earlier. It looked like he might not play. Mark Johnson. Then Buzz Schneider, 25 years old, the oldest player on the team, a month older than Eruzione, scoring this goal Thursday against Czechoslovakia. The only member of the current team to play in the 1976 Olympics at Innsbruck. A quiet man, but an effective performer. Number 16, Mark Pavelich out of Eveleth, Minnesota, home of the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame, scoring this goal Thursday against Czechoslovakia. Only 5'7", 160, 20 years old, a 3-year regular at Minnesota Duluth. The goaltender, number 30, Jim Craig from Boston University, the NCAA All-American last year, making this save against Sweden. He's played every minute of all of the games thus far. Chosen by Atlanta, will probably go to the Flames after the Olympics. And now we're back live at the Olympic Ice Center. Al Michaels along with Ken Dryden. The action proceeding down on the ice. Let's go to it live right now with 16:40 remaining in the third period. The United States leading Romania 4-1. The U.S. power play now with a Romanian in the penalty box for another 53 seconds. So the Americans with a chance to increase their advantage. That's Kristoff with the puck back of the net. To the near side to McClanahan. The shot by Johnson and the save by Hutan, number 22, the goaltender, who took over with about 6 minutes remaining in the second period. Johnson again.
And the U.S. team looking for the player on the wide side as it's hard to pick up by the defense.
Out in front to Baker. Slap shot is deflected high into the seats. 24 seconds left in the penalty and 16:06 remaining in the game. As you take a look at George Hutan, who took over in the nets for Valerian Netadu. Coming to you live from the Olympic Ice Center, the United States. 2-0-1 coming in, leading 4-1.
Out for the first time tonight and the first time in the Olympics is Jack O'Callahan, a defenseman who in the Soviet game that was played in Madison Square Garden 3 days before the Olympics opened, hurt his knee, appeared to be out of the Olympics entirely, but was named to the team and has been practicing, but this is his first opportunity to play.
That was O'Callahan who shot it into the Czechoslovakian zone, or into the Romanian zone, number 17, and the Romanians able to clear. Easy save for Jim Craig. 6 seconds remaining now in the penalty. Final score from next door, Czechoslovakia over West Germany, 11-3. Strobel comes in across the blue line and loses the puck. The penalty is over. The teams are skating at equal strength. The shot deflected wide of Craig, coming out toward the point. The Americans trying to clear the zone. Olenici shoots it back in, and Craig leaves it for O'Callahan out of Boston University, back of the net. Up to Strobel, 15:20 remaining in the game. Lead pass for Broughton. Neal into the corner, then sweeps it back of the net. Cleared back into the corner by the Romanians. Broughton getting it to Strobel. Strobel tries to backhand in front, but no Americans are there. Loose puck. Strobel can't get a stick on it. Fighting for it in the corner. Eruzione can't get his stick down on it. The Romanians come back to center ice. Konstantin Nistor, number 12. Takes the return pass from Turiano. Then is checked at the blue line, and back come the Americans. Callahan with a long slap shot. Callahan's slap shot is wide, and back come the Romanians.
The fact that O'Callahan is out there is very good news for the U.S. team, who has been going understaffed in defense through the whole tournament.
Playing one man shy. You can't substitute once you name your team of 20 in the Olympics. So Herb Brooks had to name his 20 men, including O'Callahan, and played with only 19 through the first 3 games. Wells in over the blue line. He scored a goal tonight. Still can't get a stick on it. Suter's shot goes high. Wells leaving it in the corner, and the Romanians clearing it, taking the pressure off. And the icing ball is waved off as Morrow is back to get it behind the American net. 14 minutes to play in the game. The Americans leading 4-1.
U.S. is just kind of letting the action drift at the moment. They've got a comfortable lead.
Dakota sweeping in. Out in front of the save by the goaltender Hutan. So 13:54 to play. USA 4 and Romania 1. United States in blue leading 4-1. The shot from in front by Kristoff, who hasn't scored yet in the 4 games. Now Christian, slap shot, and Hutan not only clears it, but puts it into about the 7th row.
As you mentioned, Al, Steve Kristoff, rather, hasn't scored so far in the Olympics, which is of some concern to Coach Herb Brooks. And tonight, he shifted the alignments a little bit, moving Kristoff onto the line with Johnson and McClanahan, and moving Eric Strobel onto another line.
You had a brief glimpse of Fred Pierce, the president of ABC Television, taking in the game tonight as McClanahan's shot goes wide. Every seat is sold. Standing room is sold. An impossible ticket to get now. A ticket to the U.S. hockey game. They'll take on West Germany Wednesday, and then the medal round Friday and Sunday if the Americans advance. And the Soviet referee, Victor Dombrovsky, sending off for Romanian, number 16, Laszlo Solium. Going off here at 6:46 of the 3rd period for tripping.
Here's the play again. Coming out of the corner. But as he's skating away, there's the trip and the 2-minute penalty. Now the U.S. team will have the men advantage.
Laszlo Solyom. A lot of tongue-twisting names, not only for the Romanians, but throughout the tournament. It's a good thing we're not doing Japan against Romania, Ken. Broughton on the face-off for the Americans. To Christian out at the point. Davy Christian, a converted forward. The team captain, Eruzione, number 21. Eruzione's shot, where he tried to center it for Baker, goes through the crease and comes out to center zone. So the Americans have to kill some time to get back onside as they set up again.
Baker trying the same play there that Christian tried just previously. Again, coming in from his defensive position, just off the crease, looking for the wide pass.
12:45 remaining in the game. The U.S. coming into this one heavy favorites, leading Romania 4-1. Of course, they tied Sweden. Then the emotional, thrilling win over Czechoslovakia, the win over Norway. 4-1 USA. We'll be right back. 12 and a half minutes remaining. We're coming to you live from the Olympic Ice Center, the main arena. The United States leading Romania 4-1 in their fourth of 5 games in the preliminary round. O'Callahan with a puck, number 17, dumping it into the corner. Mark Johnson back out to the point with it. Cross ice pass to O'Callahan, seeing his first action of the tournament. Nistor now for Romania. Tries to take the pressure off by clearing, but it's kept in at the point. The pass coming over to Johnson. His slap shot and a stick save by Hutin. O'Callahan. Kristoff. He scores! Steve Kristoff. Number 11, who was the leading goal scorer in the U.S.'s 61-game pre-Olympic schedule, had yet to score in the Olympics. Next one here to make it 5-1 Americans.
The play developing out of the corner from the point there. O'Callahan finds Kristoff in front. He just turns around and puts it just under the bar. A good shot by Kristoff. Here it is again. And here is the 5th U.S. goal.
Okay, that's the way it was going out there this afternoon, and we'll be returning to that ski jumping phase of the Nordic combine. Now, there's been another score in the hockey game, and it's been Romania this time, bringing them to 5-2 with about 12 minutes left. Let's have a look at the goal that was scored by Alexandru Halaka. Alexandru Halaka, as the Romanians in the yellow move towards the American goal. There's Halaka. There's the shot right past Jimmy Craig. The Americans, however, still with a 3-goal lead at 5-2. They're not rolling it up, however. It's not really that easy. Back to ski jumping in a minute.
We'll get back to the ski jumping shortly, but right now we're in the waning moments of a U.S. victory, which is imminent now. 7-2, the Americans on top with 45 seconds remaining in the game. So the U.S. will stay unbeaten. They'll be 3-0-1.
Besides the fact that the U.S. is now one step closer to the medal round, I'm sure the most gratifying parts of the game for Coach Herb Brooks is the fact that tonight Kristoff, Strobel, and Broughton have all gotten their first goals in the Olympics. And I know that he was concerned about the lack of production from those players, and it's got to make them a whole lot better. That combined with the return of Jack O'Callahan, getting his feet wet tonight so that as the play advances Wednesday and to the medal round, he'll be that much more prepared.
30 seconds remaining in the game. If it looks like there's a lot of empty ice, they're skating 5 aside with one man on each team off right now for coincidental roughing penalties. 24 seconds remaining. The United States leading 7-2. The U.S. leading 2-0 after the first period, 4-1 after the second, and leading now 7-2 with only 10 seconds remaining in the game. Next game coming up Wednesday for the Americans against West Germany as the crowd counts it down. 3, 2, 1, and the Americans stay unbeaten, 3-0-1, handling Romania as expected. The final score, the U.S. 7, Romania 2. Look at Herb Brooks of all things. You know that inside he is, well, I was going to say elated. Maybe he's not necessarily about this performance tonight. They overwhelmed an obviously inferior team. And Brooks jotting down some notes. But He's a man who has a team right now that has captured everybody's heart and is still unbeaten. We're going to take a look now at Neil Broughton's goal, which came at 16-12 with the score 5-2. This is 16-12 of the third period. This made it 6-2.
Here's Broughton, a beautiful individual move, coming right in on goal and finding the wide side.
And then Rob McClanahan, number 24, scoring with just 1:51 left in the game.
Well, again, McClanahan having some difficulty scoring in the Olympics so far. Another great individual move, very similar to the Broughton goal, and it made it 7-2, which was the final score.
A look at Jim Craig, another good night for Craig. Craig giving up 2 goals tonight. He has yielded only 8 in the 4 games thus far. So the United States is now 3-0-1. Sweden won today. They beat Norway 7-1. Sweden is 3-0-1 in the blue division. The Americans raising their sticks. The crowd responding. Czechoslovakia right now in 3rd place in this division with a record of 3-1, having lost to the Americans. There are the standings. Remember, only 2 of those teams will advance to the medal round. The Americans take on West Germany Wednesday, and Sweden will play Czechoslovakia on Wednesday in a game that could very well determine the other team to go in with the Americans. So that's the story from the Olympic Ice Center. The U.S. beating Romania 7-2. Let's go back to Jim McKay now.
Okay, the next big game, remember, will be Wednesday night live here, the United States against West Germany. If they win that win, there's no question about it. They go to the final 4 to the medal round.